What's going on, everyone? In today's video, we're going to show you how you can use BookMine to search for books that are in extremely short supply right now that offer an amazing opportunity to potentially buy some books that are, at a good price or an amazing price that you can send into Amazon and probably will sell very quickly and maybe even for more than they should normally sell for. But before we get into that, Victor, what's going on, man?
Joji, how's it going? I think that supply meter that we have on BookMine is game changing. There is nothing like it on the market. You can literally just click on a button and find that these books that are just about to sell out. There's nothing like it out there. If you're able to catch this early, you're able to make some really good money just off of this one feature. So I'm excited to show you guys, and let's go.
All right, so we're over here on the BookMine dashboard. You can see there have been about 3,000 books mined, and you can see that it just recently has been updated. Again, BookMine is going to be updating right around every hour, and what we're going to be doing is specifically focusing on the supply meter. So recall that books can, have a normal supply, meaning based upon past historical data, today's supply or offer count or the number of people selling it is like it's normal. It's kind of not really changed. It can be extremely oversupply where there's like way more people listing this book than the past. And then the opposite, which is what we're going to hone in, Victor, is going to be those that are in short supply or extremely short supply. So specifically, let's look at extremely short supply and let's click on the only button here and we'll just see what pops up. So, let's just look at the first book here. This is an all year round book according to BookMine. And here it is. We're going to look at the Keep link. It has a BookMine score of 5. And just really quick again, can you just give us a quick rundown, Victor? What exactly is that BookMine score of 5? What is that kind of telling us?
It's a compilation of the gold meter, the supply meter, the sellout meter, the out of stock, and the lowest ever all together in one score. So this particular book got a 5 because the price we're saying is close, plus it's extremely short in supply. So there's almost no copies of this book left. If you happen to be one of the last people to get, or you happen to see this and you're able to buy it, more than likely this book's about to sell out. And after that, usually right after a book sells out, the price spikes. And that's why it's awesome to check out this book.
Absolutely. So it's basically like a 1-2 punch here. Got a score of 5 because it's not an amazing deal per se, but again, it's an extremely short supply, and we know that when things are extremely short supply, that there is an opportunity to sell that book for money. So let's just go and take a look at what today's offer count is. Looks like the offer count is 6. Again, if you look at the most recent 6 months, you can see that the offer count, right, has hovered around 15, 16, up to 18 or 19. So at an offer count of 6, that's actually way lower than it normally is. And the good news about this book as well is that we actually do see it's a book that historically can sell, really high up to the 130s, up to 180. Now, obviously, doesn't sell there very often. Kind of hangs out in the 30s and the 40s. The buy box is all over the place, Victor. I'm sure some of these copies are selling for that amount of price. But
what I like to go back to there is in August, right, where that price went down to or the used offer count went down to 1 or 2, and so we're about to repeat that same exact thing right now, and that's when the price spiked. So I don't see an issue. Well, I don't see why that wouldn't happen again.
Right. So you got down to 2. Looks like sell there at 77, one at 79. And what's interesting is even as the offer count kind of started to recover, you still had a number of sells, at least 2 sells there at 130. And you're exactly right. This is a book that potentially has the ability to spike. And it'd be interesting to actually see what the offers look like, if there's a big differential in price between the first and second copy. So we can take a look. Looks like we're 77 as a prime seller in the buy box. And it looks like, there's a couple at 40, and then it goes all the way up to about 160. So here's a book that's at, low supply. Look at this figure. Over the last decade, this book has really only ever been, in shorter supply once. That's it.
Yeah, no, this is great. And that's, again, the power of BookMine, right? It finds those anomalies and shows them to you. And look, this book, even though it doesn't look like it, it's just, when you first look at it, maybe the price is amazing. But right now, because there's almost no supply left, this is a great book to purchase and see that book spike.
Absolutely. Let's look at the next book. This is called 25 Years of Fuel. So obviously, neither of these books are textbooks here. This is also going to be close in price and extremely short supply. So let's go and take a look at this book. Obviously, a very niche book. So can you kind of tell us, why was this price here kind of like a close price, Victor? Kind of looking at, so it looks like the price, again, BookMine is always going to give you the accurate all-in shipping price, $59.98. But if you kind of look at this keeper graph from last year, why would you say this is like a close price, but not like a great price?
I'd say because what BookMine does is looks for the intrinsic value of the book, right? So the book is selling for at the very low 90s to $80. So I would say this book is worth about $90. And then the current price is 60. So together, maybe you'll make a few dollars selling this book back at 90. So the goal here would be buy at 60, sell at 90. There's a few, if you were to do the math, there's slightly a little bit of profit there, and that's why that's close. But without those other features, that's why it's close. But there's other things here, right? There's almost no supply of this book. It'll easily, again, more than likely, spike back up.
Right. So you can see right now, it looks like there's 2 offers on the listing. And again, you can always confirm that. You can go to the Amazon listing. You can check it out there. You can say, see all buying options. There's actually not even any featured offer in the buy box. So you've got yourself 2 used offers, and then you have 1 there, a collectible offer. So just remember that we're looking at used offer count. We're not really ever taking a look at collectible offers, because again, collectible offers are they're worse listings of used condition listings. So that's what we're looking at mainly. Interestingly, Victor, if I look back in history for this book, what are you kind of seeing at similar offer counts, or maybe even offer counts that are slightly higher in terms of sales, like what this could potentially sell for?
The potential is really high. The price can actually vary to some pretty high price points. I mean, we're in like the $120, $150 range pretty easily. So it has proof that it does sell for much more than it's going for today. So knowing that there's very little supply and it's at $60, I mean, worst case scenario of this book would be selling it for 90, right? Yeah, there's a really good shot you're going to sell it for more than that.
Yeah. So, again, if you have SellerAmp or if you have a profit calculator, again, the all-in BookMine price would be $59.98. So that's going to be accurate. I would agree with Victor. Like the absolute minimum I'd sell for is like $89.99. And of course, that's bad that you make a $6. I mean, not bad. I mean, it's not ideal that you only make $6 on a $58 investment. But that's still technically a 10% ROI. Remember that in the stock market, if you invest in the S&P 500, you're trying to get like 9% per year, right before inflation. So,
and that's the definition of a close book. You're going to make a little bit of profit. Not a lot, but a little bit, right?
But the good news is that remember that this book, because of the fact that it's an extremely short supply, has the potential for selling for more. So what would you say, Victor, is a price you might be willing to try to get this book listed at due to the fact that there's maybe less supply?
Yeah, I'm seeing this book selling the 140s, 130 to 140 is probably what I would feel confident in trying to list it for first. So I would list it for that, maybe 3 to 6 months, and then come back if it hasn't sold by then, and then probably drop it to a closer price point to like around $90, I'm guessing.
Absolutely. I mean, even in the past, in 2015, we see some sales when drops from the lowest price was 160 to 180. So there's even potential of the book selling there. Some other things to know is that the buy box price has frequently been higher than that kind of baseline price as well. So all in all, this is a book, it's a close price. You make a little bit of profit, but due to the fact that it's an extremely short supply, which is the whole reason why we're making this video, we think it has more potential to be a book that's decent, right?
Right.
Okay, let's take a look at this book here. This is called The Art of Eating Well, an Italian cookbook. Looks like it's a close price, extremely short supply, and sell out very likely. So let's go and take a look at this one. And Victor, again, BookMine is to give us the all-in shipping price of $54.33. What is, just a preliminary kind of what's your take on this graph?
The price definitely is variable. It moves up and down quite often throughout the year, but there is a proven track record of selling this book right there in July for about 104. So I kind of would write that down or make a mental note there. And then in December, it did sell quite a bit over here, right around $90, $100. So I would check those notes off, and then I would go and see, okay, what's happening now? Now I'm coming from BookMine. I already know that there's very little supply here.
Right.
So, and I verified it here. There's only apparently one seller, and they're selling it for a really good price. So I'm definitely interested in that book.
Yeah. So we can see this is a book. I mean, there's one there. I mean, you make the decision whether or not you want to buy acceptable condition books. Both Victor and I say that, our experience from buying from Goodwills normally is a good one if you're buying from the Goodwills that have like 97+%. But guys, there's only one of these copies listed. I mean, Victor, does this book sell more than one time a year?
Oh, yeah. If you were to buy that at that price, I mean, you'll sell it out within the next 2 weeks. You're the only person who will have it. Yeah.
Exactly. And has this book ever sold out before in the past, by the way?
It has. And when it does, the price really spikes. I mean, you can see it each time the used offer count drops, the price moves up to what I think I'm seeing over here, $200 to $300.
That's crazy, right? So an amazing book there. It kind of been nice if it was in good condition or very good condition, but definitely awesome. Now, maybe let's just think about how could we go to the next level of this, right? So right now we're looking at close on the gold meter. We're looking at extremely short supply, right?
Right.
We just made a video now recently about how to use gold meter. Is there some way we could combine, what we got here with extremely short supply and gold meter? Is there anything we can do there?
Yeah, we could just go ahead and click on great price or good price, basically getting rid of all the close prices. And now we're really talking. Now we're gonna have what I'm looking at 8 books that are the best ones out there. These 8 books more than likely each one of we're going to say yes to buy them.
Right. And the good news, again, guys, is that if you're looking at this filter, or if you're looking at this specific filter, books are going to be updated every single hour, right? So there's always going to be fresh deals, especially if you're coming back and looking at this multiple times a day. All right, so we just loaded in here, and we can go ahead and see that here are all the different books. So some of them are gold. You can see why. Some of them sell very likely. They got the great price. So let's just take a look at this book. This is a currently a gold book. Great price, extremely short supply. If you just look at the keeper graph here, I mean, this is a book that did amazing. It's August, September. I mean, it was selling in the 70s.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's kind of happening recently here?
There's a price war between a few probably mega sellers really bringing this book down, but it's still bringing down the used offer count. So as you can see, we're down to a few sellers left, $20-something, and the recent history of this book is in the 70s.
So you can go over here to Amazon. You can take a look at what's going on. So it looks like we got Rent You in the buy box here. So one thing that just a tip for you guys, just make sure, especially those mega booksellers, that you look at kind of what their stock quantities might be. Sometimes you might not be able to see a stock quantity from Keepa because it might say loading. So one little tip for you here is you could add either one of these to cart if you want, and then when you're in the cart, what you could do is go ahead and under quantity just click the 10 plus, and you can just type in like 999, right, Victor, and just click update,
and then I'll tell you how many you have.
So this one's got 20. This one's got, let's see how many they got. They've only got one. Okay, so
not bad.
Okay, so
for how many sales this book has, 20 isn't a deterrent.
Yeah, not really. I mean, look at how much this is going to sell in August, September, right? So, and one good thing for you guys to think about is you don't need to buy all 20 copies, right? We definitely preach going wide rather than deep. That concept means buying more books and fewer copies of them than buying a whole bunch of one copy. So, if you only have a couple $100 to spend, Victor and I are basically saying, buy 10 books rather than buying 10 copies of one book, right? When you say it's probably...
Oh, yeah, exactly. That we match in that way, yes.
Okay, let's go and take a look at any one of these books. I mean, they're clearly non-textbooks, which is cool. The Wisdom of the Sands. I mean, it looks like probably a niche book. I mean, I've never heard of this book. I mean, we can see, what are you seeing with this book here?
So I'm seeing a $40 to $50 range. When it gets right around there, it sells over there in December. In November, December, it's kind of the same thing. Was at $80 it was selling. So has a proven track record. This also sell for the 80s and also was selling in the 50s. So it seems like when somebody wants this book, they're going to buy it.
Right. Now it's down to 33. We're at extremely short supply here. And here's a book that has just held intrinsic value over time. And what I mean by that is it's a book that it always is, significantly above $30 year round. I mean, sure, there are going to be times where, it gets cheaper momentarily, and that's kind of, going to be one of the reasons why you should start tracking books as well. But, this is a book that has gone out of stock in the past and has done quite well. So again, what's really cool about BookMine is, you can use all these filters together, and you've got quite a bit of filters to play up there with, right, Victor? So you've got a lot of opportunity here. I hope you guys really found value in searching like this. By the way, we only look at supply meter. We're looking at extremely short supply. We could also look at short supply, and there's 108 books that are in good or great prices. So look at this college physics book, like down there in the 40s and selling like over $100, right? So there's tons of potential here. Any last comments about these filters before we head out?
If you're a true bookseller, you'll understand how powerful this is. There's really no other way that you can kind of sort an option just like this software does for you. So go and use it, see how powerful it is. We're both really excited that we're made the software for you guys. So thank you guys for seeing it with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see you guys on the next one.